There's no such thing as an ugly win. Right. There's no such thing.
Let's take a look at your draw now. You face Tomas Muster next, the 13th seed. The head-to-heads mean anything? I think it's 4-1 him head-to-head.
It did. You know, it means something
at this point.
It doesn't mean anything to me right now, quite honestly. You know, I want to get even with him for that match. He beat me at the French Open, and I'm quite confident, to be honest. I mean, I know he plays well against me, no question. We always have a tough match, 7-5 in the 5th. At the French Open, the hard course is a little bit more my surface. The way I'm hitting the ball, the way I'm focusing, I like my chance.
Well, I think Andre is in very good shape. I've seen him play all week, and he's been hitting the ball fantastic. And I beat him in the French Open, and every time I won was on clay. So it's the first time actually we play. No, the second time we play on hard court, but the first time when I beat him in 5 sets was at Lipton. But he was about 16 years old, so I think it's a little bit of a difference now.
The following is a special presentation of USA Sports.
Back here on USA for more coverage of the 1994 U.S. Open at the National Tennis Center, and you can see how big the crowds are getting set for a great night of tennis. Just 10 days ago, tennis fans were wondering who, if anyone, would emerge and make this 94 U.S. Open memorable. In these 2 weeks, Andre Agassi has recaptured his form and the imagination of tennis fans everywhere as he has emerged from this large and impressive field of players here at the National Tennis Center. The weather again, just perfect. And tonight, Andre Agassi, unseeded here for the first time since 1987, faces the 13th seed, Tomas Muster. Hello, everybody. I'm John Franklin, our USA Network studios. Here at the Open, only one unseeded player has reached the men's finals in the Open era. Jan Kodesh did it back in 1971. And you have to go back to 1966 to find an unseeded player who actually won it all, Australian Fred Stolle. This year, fans have jumped on an Andre Agassi bandwagon that is picking up speed. Tonight, we'll see if he can get by the number 13 seed, Tomas Muster. And it was in the second round against Guy Forget that Andre Agassi turned to the booth and asked for some help.
John, where do I hit the serve?
I'd go out wide, Andre. And John, what are you going to tell Andre tonight?
Well, I tell him that first of all, get a high percentage of first serves on the court. That's going to be a key factor. But neither guys are big servers. They don't rely on winning a lot of free points. So I think the big thing here is going to be positioning on the court. Agassi likes to stand near the baseline. He likes to attack the ball, take it on the rise, be aggressive. Tomas Muster is a scrambler from way behind the baseline, likes to run a lot of balls down. You hear him grunting and makes a lot of effort. But I think the difference is Andre knows how to play on hard courts more than Tomas Muster.
And they've met 5 times, but the last 4 have been on clay, including this year when they played an epic 5-setter at the French Open.
Well, this was a tremendous match here. Andre Agassi got off to a very slow start, down a set and a break early before fighting back. Also was down 5-2 in the 5th set. Finally got back to 5-all and was unable to finish it off, losing this 7-5 in the 5th set. Very similar, by the way, to his match with Michael Chang, where he was way up, got himself in trouble, had to scramble a bit to win in 5 sets. So this is going to be a big, interesting test to see if he can turn it around here. It's going to be very difficult for Tomas Muster today. He's got to have to play very aggressive. He's going to have to take some chances. He's going to have to hope Andre Agassi's a little off his game.
All right, let's go back downstairs now to John Frankel.
Okay, Ted Robinson, John McEnroe, thanks very much. I'm sure we're looking forward to hearing some coaching from the booth from John McEnroe. Time now for our Nike U.S. Open update, and that's why we've called in our analyst, Barry McKay. Up today, first on the stadium court, it was Steffi Graf and Amanda Kutzer. Can anybody beat Steffi Graf, Barry?
She looks awful tough, John. She's hitting her forehand about as well as she possibly can. Graf going against Kutzer. Kutzer loves the backcourt, but she should have tried to come in more today against Graf. That's the only chance she had. Kutzer decided to stay on the baseline, and that is like sudden death with Steffi Graf. Watch this big forehand again, right down the line.
Steffi won the first set at love. This whole match took just 55 minutes.
Again, Kutzer in the backcourt, Steffi in, and that was it. Very quick for Steffi Graf.
Steffi Graf advances, looking for her 4th U.S. Open title. She wins it at love and 2. 4th seed Mary Pierce against Jana Novotná, the 7th seed. Mary Pierce slightly disappointing today.
Well, Pierce played great at the French, but today she didn't look the same. Novotná loves to charge on that second serve. In with a good volley here. Gets the low volley, great touch, and then boom, it's away. Novotná loves that high forehand volley.
Novotná won the first set 6-4. Most people will remember her for her final against Steffi Graf at Wimbledon a year ago.
She played very smart, stayed in the backcourt, just let the other kid make the mistakes, and there it was, Novotná straight sets.
Novotná wins it at 4-love, and next up is Steffi Graf.
The only way she can beat Graf is to come in on every ball and bring the baseline with her.
And the other semifinal, Gabriela Sabatini, the 8th seed, against Arantxa Sanchez-Vicario.
Sabatini played well against her in the Italian a year ago, but Sanchez-Vicario much tougher on the hard courts.
And to the men, the 9th seed, Todd Martin against Bernd Karbacher from Germany. Karbacher's batting average today better than his serving percentage.
Takes the racket, looks like a bat. Actually, he should be playing for the Mets, but the problem is the Mets aren't playing.
But Todd Martin was not on strike today. He was all out.
Martin staying in the backcourt. A great scrambler at 6 feet 6 inches tall. Watch his great touch on the lob. Karbacher back, hits the two-hander about 20 feet over the baseline. Great eye from Martin.
Martin won the first 2 sets 6-4, 7-6, dropped the third, but then came through, winning at 6-4 in the 4th. So tomorrow it's Jaime Izaga and Karl Novacek guaranteeing that an unseeded player reaches the semis.
Novacek, a very heavy ball, but Izaga playing on a streak right now.
Okay, and it's Jonas Bjorkman, the guy who knocked off Stefan Edberg against Michael Stich.
Bjorkman very charged up. Stich better be careful.
And the match you'll see tonight, Andre Agassi against Tomas Muster, and then the winner of that one faces Todd Martin.
That could be the match of the tournament.
All right, just a short while ago, here at the National Tennis Center, Andre Agassi showed up. He is next on the stadium court here on USA. And welcome back to USA. It doesn't get any better than this. A beautiful night in New York City, and Andre Agassi on the stadium court here on USA. One of the featured attractions at every Grand Slam is the presence of Andre Agassi. Although he has a flashy image, there's more to him than most people see out on the tennis court or in television commercials. Alex Wilson takes a revealing look at the most charismatic player in the game today.
The frosting without the cake sucks. And he got his frosting early.
Any questions? Being number one is not what's important to me. Being the most I can is what's important to me. So to make number one the goal, I think you miss out on so many wonderful things.
Where does tennis fit in?
And believe me, we wondered a lot of times, where does tennis fit in with you?
There's no question that my relationship with God in my life is the most important thing to me, and it always will be. And the love I have for my friends and family is definitely second. You know, there's absolutely no question about that. And then somewhere, you know, on third is exactly where tennis fits in. But it all works.
Andre has certainly had success along the way, including one of the most coveted championships in all of tennis, Wimbledon. But it's the relationships that matter most. From the start, a man playing so many different roles, Brother Philip.
The truth with compassion. That's how I look at Phil, you know.
I basically raised him on the tour. I guess one could say maybe like a father in certain areas, a friend, a brother, business, you know, partner.
Nick Bollettieri, big part of your life for a long time. You miss him?
I do, because I miss Nick incredibly, you know, and I mean, geez, if I'm going to tell the world that, I'm going to tell Nick that, you know, and I have told him, you know, I miss you, but I don't miss him as a coach. I miss him as a friend. I miss him as a father, but I don't know if he understands things on that level, you know. Nick looks out for himself.
and that reality has absolutely had a devastation on my life, and Nick has let me down, and he has disappointed me, and I can't get around that fact. Every day that I wake up, I try to get around that because of the years we spent together, but I just can't seem to. And I hope somehow, some way that, you know, things will somehow work out between us, but I'm just, at this stage, I'm not too positive that that's going to happen, and that's not easy for me. It's really not.
For now, Nick is a chapter in Andre's past. Perhaps this famous face is an important part of the future.
There are very few people in this world that you meet that you can honestly say will be a part of your life forever. Very few. There's no question that Brooke is that special of a person. It's hard to take somebody in the public eye, and like myself or like Brooke, and actually try to somehow paint the picture that what we have is beautiful and, quite honestly, for lack of a better term, normal.
It's my boyfriend. He epitomizes a sense of style on its own, but also a depth, which I think people don't usually have married together, and I think that's what he's all about.
Andre is a character, you know. Andre, his personality is very spontaneous. Just to allow the people to feel what I'm feeling, to really get a sense for that, comes very naturally to me, and it's something that I'm proud of, because that to me is adding something to the game, and to add something to a sport that's been so good to you is the ultimate fulfillment.
And Brooke Shields has a history with unseeded players. As she watches Andre tonight, her grandfather Frank Shields was the first unseeded player to ever reach the U.S. Nationals. That was back in 1930. Right now, let's go out to the stadium to Ted Robinson and John McEnroe.
All right, John, thank you very much. One thing we anticipate tonight is an atmosphere here on Stadium Court that you don't often see. Agassi does bring that. It's New York at night. You remember it well, John. There'll be a buzz in the crowd. There'll be a lot of flash bulbs popping, kind of like a championship fight atmosphere. What is it about a player? You did it. Connors did it. Agassi has done it. That thrives about playing here at night.
I honestly don't know. He's just got a lot of charisma. Andre Agassi is the biggest personality in tennis. It would be huge for tennis if he won the U.S. Open. As we see Andre Agassi trying to mill his way through this big U.S. Open crowd.
It's kind of like a prize fight entrance, isn't it?
We are on USA Network, right? Tuesday night fights.
Somewhere behind him, walking through right behind him, is Tomas Muster, feeling, I'm sure, like the forgotten man.
Oh, I doubt that. I doubt that. Tomas Muster came to play. One of the reasons why I brought up the other day about Tomas Muster coming to losing, he beat in 5 sets Andre Agassi at the French Open. The next match, he lost to Patrick Rafter on the clay courts in 4 sets. Of a big surprise there. And I think Andre Agassi, to see what he can do after that tough 5-set match against Michael Chang, it'll be interesting how much he has left physically.
All right, we're getting set for tennis on Stadium Court. The players make their way in. We'll be back on USA. Gorgeous night in New York City. As this glorious weather, I'm not sure there's ever been a better U.S. Open in terms of weather for spectators and players. As you see Andre Agassi now and Tomas Muster making their way onto Stadium Court. Muster is the seeded player in this Open, but I'm not sure that there'd be very many people, particularly those here in New York, that would consider him the favorite tonight, although every reason to expect this to be a highly competitive match.
I think the new favorite is the man you're looking at right there.
John, can you ever recall in the quarters of a Grand Slam that an unseeded player would be regarded by many as the favorite?
I can't recall off the top of my head, but a great effort by Fred Stolle, who pointed out in 1966 to win the U.S. Open, does a lot of TV work still. His son Sandin on the professional tour. Certainly Michael Steek, if he is serving as well as we saw last night against Kafelnikov, would have to be considered a co-favorite.
Brooke Shields is seated in Agassi's box, and
complete bombardment going on in the corner, which is a little unbecoming.
What's the plural of paparazzi?
I can't say it on the air.
Andre Agassi had a chance to loosen up on one of the outer courts at the National Tennis Center earlier today, and he talked with our Michael Barkat.
You guys have had some battles before, latest being the French Open 5-setter. He took you. He's taken you 4 of the last 5 times you played. What are you going to do differently this time?
We had some battles, but make no bones about it, I am taking this one tonight.
Ooh, a prediction in New York.
You got a prediction in New York. I want this one bad. I feel like I'm hitting the ball well. You know, he took me 5 in the 5th at the French Open on a surface that that's his best surface, and you know, he's going to fight for everything, and he's going to make my life miserable tonight, but I'm going to get through it.
You like the night matches better or the day matches better?
I like, you know, I have to say the night. There's something about the energy playing at the Night and Open that you can't compare to any other playing venue in the world. I mean, it's incredible, the electricity in the stands, the feeling of winning a night match is just, you just feel like you won the tournament when you win a night match.
Well, this is a U.S. Open in need of some energy and electricity here at night on Stadium Court. The hope is that Agassi and Mooster will provide that coming up next. Well, the crowd getting set, filing in, and getting set for their places as Agassi and Mooster warm up for this match on Stadium Court. At the U.S. Open, this is the men's quarters, the second straight year Mooster has reached this round. Agassi kind of has rebounded from his embarrassing first-round loss here a year ago. And looking like everybody remaining, actually 7 remaining players, looking at a field that everyone says wide open with the top 3 being out.
So these are good tennis years for a tennis player, mid-20s. Great opportunity for Andre. Hopefully he's learned from his past mistakes. As we pointed out, he has lost 4 or 5 matches against Thomas Mooster. We see right now only ranked 20. That's certainly going to change after this event. Irregardless of his result tonight, he'll move up at least 5 spots, just get into the quarterfinals. If he wins this event, he'll break into the top 10. A real easy time in the first round. Guy Forget, he should have won that match in straight sets. He himself said he choked a little bit, causing that to go 4. Wayne Ferreira, he dominated from early on. In another match that he played superbly in, but made it a little tougher, I believe, than he had to. It's up a break in that second set, clearly dominating. And that was the same match in reverse that I was pointing out with Thomas Mooster, who we see here. Good tennis year for him as well, 26 years old. He's come back from a lot of adversity, including a car accident that caused major knee surgery. See him at the moment ranked 14 in the world. He had a very tough time with Andre in the second round of the French Open, and no one would expect Patrick Rafter on the red clay to beat Thomas Mooster, and that did take place, and I'm sure it had a lot to do with that. Not taking anything away from Patrick, but you see Thomas Mooster having a relatively easy two first-second round match and lost a set there. Not much of a problem. And the big win, a bit of a surprise for me, was beating Sergi Bruguera. I thought Sergi had a little bit more coming into that, so that was an excellent win for Thomas Mooster.
We bounce around, John, the term clay court specialist quite a bit. Would you say that Mooster fits into that category?
Oh, definitely. He's certainly a clay court specialist. He's won almost all, if not all, of his titles on clay courts. But he did reach the finals at Key Biscayne right the night before he was hurt, beating Yannick Noah in a 5-set thriller, breaking into the top 10 for the first time, showing people that he can play on the hard court surface. Let's not forget he was 1 point away from getting to the semifinals here last year. As we look at Mike Wallace, 60 Minutes man, been around a long time. It's amazing how long that show's been successful.
Inquiring minds, all wanting to watch Agassi here tonight.
You should hire him to study the tennis circuit. Pointed out, Mooster leading 4-1. Their last meeting, that great 5-set thriller in Paris.
4 of the 5 matches on clay. They met once on a hard court, and it must seem like a lifetime ago to both. It was 1987. In the first round of the Lipton, Agassi was in as a neophyte, and Mooster beat him in the first round. Let's take a look now at how John would align these two players and dissect their game.
Well, neither player, in my opinion, is a huge server. So I call that even. Neither one's going to win a lot of free points. It would be a bonus, icing on the cake for either of them to win a lot of free points. Definitely give Andre Agassi the edge on the returns. I think he's the best returner in the sport. On hard courts, I'm going to give Andre Agassi the edge as well on this surface. Maybe you could go with Tomas Muster, but I think Andre picks up the ball earlier than Tomas Muster and also hits the ball better on the rise. Net play, I give Andre the edge as well. I think he's a little solid, a little bit more comfortable there. Once again, I think playing on the hard courts has helped him, although Muster has improved that aspect of his game. Intangibles, I have to call even. Tomas Muster's been around a long time. He's won a lot of big matches. Andre Agassi has also been around, believe it or not, a long time. There's been some question about his heart, his mental toughness. I think that will be answered tonight.
Nobody questions that on Muster's count.
But they sometimes question his shot selection, and that's part of the intangibles. You sometimes get a little starts rushing out there, especially on this hard court surface. As we look at Dana Lecanto, he's also been around a long time.
First set, Andre Agassi to serve.
Well, we're finally ready to play tennis. Agassi will open the match on serve.
I must say I'm glad they waited to start this match a little bit later, give fans a chance to get in. Some more buzz in the crowd already. Remember I talked in the opening about Muster trying to go for a little bit extra, and there's an obvious example there. Right off the bat, going for a huge forehand. Another point, you can see already how much respect Agassi has for Muster. He's standing about 2 feet behind what he normally does. Well, we'd love to have a lot of those. Big first serve. Just imagine how much tougher Andre Agassi would be if he had that serve consistently.
First serve.
Could he develop it?
That's possible. It's difficult, but it's certainly possible. Play some doubles. And a lot of points in practice certainly can be done.
First serve.
Agassi holds his serve to start the match. Tomas Muster serving. Second serve coming on the first point. Do you expect John Agassi will have a good chance to break Muster more than once?
He'll have plenty of chances. Plenty of breaks in this match. You can rest assured of that. I'd be shocked if there weren't a lot of breaks. See Muster bouncing around in the back of the court trying to get himself warm. this man, Andre Agassi. Thomas Muster loves to get involved in these long rallies. Try to grind his opponents down physically. Extremely fit.
And there's an ace, his first. Now Muster with two big serves. And hold for 1-all.
See Brad Gilbert among others. Brooke Shields. Gil Reyes, his conditioning coach, and Perry Rogers, his best friend and business partner now.
The explanation Agassi gave after the Chang match for having Brad Gilbert as his coach was interesting. He said, let's face it, Gilbert's won a lot of matches in his career he shouldn't have won, and I've lost a lot I should have won.
I don't know if that correlates in him winning more matches, but it sounds right. Andre trying to get himself loose here. He wants to get off to a good start, like he did against Michael Chang. And I must say, the crowd, Ted, is extremely quiet at this time. Putting a little added pressure on both players. They want to see what they got before they start getting into this.
Agassi puts the test right away. The first of 3 break points.
Muster likes a lot of time in those passing shots. He's way behind the baseline. Andre would be very smart to cut off these short balls, be aggressive. It's very difficult to pass from that far behind the baseline.
Why would Muster be back that far?
He needs time to take those big swings, and he doesn't feel comfortable taking it early. Like an Andre Agassi, he likes to take the ball a little bit lower.
Agassi with an error on the forehand, and Muster has the first break. Thomas Muster serving, up a break in the first set.
Apparently Andre Agassi is starting to feel the pressure a little more. Been a loose game that last game, giving Muster an early break. And so far, Thomas Muster's serve has been a weapon in this match. Already 3 aces. And that was unexpected. Usually goes for a lot like that and rarely gets them in. He's serving smart so far. Sure enough, he double faults. That always happens.
Muster's comeback story, really an amazing one in 1989. John told you he was hit by a car, a drunk driver, after beating Noah, who was going to play Lendl the next day in a final. Key Biscayne, you see that ugly scar across his left knee. Severed ligaments in that knee, and he was back on the tour in 6 months.
He worked 8 or 10 hours a day for that 6-7 month period. Not too many people I know be able to persevere. Extremely hard worker. Continues to be extremely hard worker.
pushing off the ground, and he's keeping Agassi pinned 3 feet behind the baseline.
You're right, Ted. This is a surprise so far. I thought Andre Agassi would be able to control things from the baseline with his pace and his timing, but good move there. Muster going behind Andre. A little sluggish on that move there. Not reacting too well to that Muster shot. Isn't he in the wrong stadium?
Well, he sure is.
Expensive match he's watching.
Yes, it is. Every day. Maui Bonilla losing more money per day than any of the Major League ball players on strike.
Ted, I don't know what happened there. If Andre just ran out of gas that last backhand. He was right there. Certainly a strange looking point. Both players having opportunities to come in, not doing so. Well, that ball was up. Perhaps he thought that was going out. Good eye there. Thomas Muster coming out firing. You had to sort of expect that to happen. The question was, would they go in? And he's certainly dropping at the moment. Once again, I think Andre reverted a little bit back to his early match. He's got a little tentative out there, and Muster's too good. He took advantage of it. Starting to let go a little bit. He realizes he's got to pick up his pace. Talk about painting the line. Andre Agassi right there. Talk about having confidence in your forehand. Waited patiently, allowed Muster really to get back in the court, but still felt like he could hit a winner anyway, and did.
Agassi lost the first 2 points of that game, but rallies the hold. Muster serving up a break first set. Agassi very bold today, predicting victory. Very confident after his Chang match. I was a little surprised at the level of confidence he had.
Once again, I don't think the type of rallies Andre Agassi wants to get into. Thomas Muster is extremely tough the longer the point goes. I like the fact that Andre Agassi said that.
Yeah.
It's a lot more interesting in hearing the same old boring, well, I'll do my best. I hope I play well. If he loses, so what? Are they going to remember that he said he was going to win?
I was a little surprised at where he said he never feels like he's hit the ball better when he's hitting it now.
That's the 25th time he said that in his career. A big second serve there by Tomas Muster. Big kick out wide.
Fourth ace already.
And that's been the surprise of the match so far. Muster's pace off his serve as well as his ground strokes. Certainly the serve more of a surprise.
Very quick game. Muster at 4-2 now in the first set.
So Tomas Muster's coach, Ronnie Lightgeb, who came up to me right before the telecast and told me not to coach Andre. You must think Andre's wearing an earpiece and I'm going to tell him where to serve. I'm not sure if it'd be a good idea to listen. Agassi clearly concerned with that stat. Since seeing the ball as cleanly as he did against Michael Chang the other day, certainly feel the tension out there. That's where Muster's a little bit unsure of himself. Make that transition from defense to offense. To Donald Trump and his new family.
Did you ever play Muster?
Actually, not in actual tournaments. We played in some exhibition-type events and one-night exhibitions, but never had the opportunity. Certainly would have preferred to play him on this surface. That's what Andre Agassi needs to do, take advantage of those short balls. Muster hits with a lot of topspin. He's got to take that ball before it kicks up too high, and that's what I mean about taking it on the rise. Before the ball starts dropping down, before it gets up too high on you. Got to be Todd Martin size, 6 feet 6 inches tall, to take it up shoulder height, be comfortable with it. And that's mainly because he's got that two-handed backhand, as we see Andre serve his second double fault. It's a lot easier to hit that ball up high with a two-hander than it is one-handed.
Coming back to hold his serve in the first.
Michael Barkan back at the National Tennis Center in a beautiful shot, looking down on the stadium and grandstand courts. And right now, you are looking live at a shot of the U.S. Open trophies. This is what everyone will take home. Actually, replicas behind me. This is, of course, the men's doubles trophy. This is the men's singles trophy right here. Women's, of course, it's guarded at all times by law. And women's doubles and mixed doubles right here. All of these, the last name on this one, Sampras, will not repeat. But perhaps Steffi will. We'll go back to the stadium.
Which means that John McEnroe has 4 of those big ones, and I'm sure how many doubles sitting at home?
Thank you for bringing that up. I believe 4. I hope it's more, but I think it's 4. It's been Tomas Muster who's been picking his spots nicely in this match so far. You don't see him in net too often. He certainly improved that aspect of his game and picked up on that passing shot rather easily. Some good heady play out there so far from Mooster. Mooster a little upset with that call, but that was clearly in. And I think Mooster knows it as well.
Is he a frustrating guy to play, John? The way he always comes back at you, the great pace, the grunts. Does that bother you?
The grunts is frustrating and distracting. And that's a pretty important stat. Get your first serve in, win all the points. But you know he'll lose the point now. Next first serve, he'll lose for sure. Ted is the main reason why he's so frustrated to play. He's extremely fit. And he runs down a lot of balls. Andre Agassi had to play a tremendous point to get this break point opportunity. Trying to get his breath back right now.
Mooster really took his time getting ready for that.
Get out!
And Agassi has broken back. And this first set is even.
Very important he not let this first set slip away. Big game for him there. Starting to show a little bit more penetration with those ground strokes. Flatten them out just a touch. Mooster unable to handle the pace or the pressure of the moment.
Well, at an Open that's been dominated by big serves, often by short points, here we have a little bit of what you might call old-time tennis.
You're not going to see the old-time serve volume, but you're going to see a lot more long points, that's for sure. Not old-style tennis either. You're going to be banging away from the baseline. Notice how the grunting is starting to increase ever so slightly. And that's where it hurts not to be a serve volley. He hit an excellent serve out wide. He should have cut that ball off. Instead, sort of Muster and scrambling in the baseline, and that just took his eye off the ball. Touch there. Well cut off there. So I'm standing already inside the baseline, and that's a tremendous approach shot. You can't hit any better than that. It looked like Muster could have swung at that, but the last second that ball skidded. Surprised Mooster. Perhaps an uneven spot on the court once again.
Get-go by Mooster. Remarkable.
And this is what I think you're going to see more. Mooster scrambling around the court, making fantastic gets, but ultimately not being able to do enough. Look how far behind the baseline he is there.
First serve.
Mooster serving. At 4-5 in the first set.
He's so strong that he can hold that forehand to the last second like he did here. He hits a wide open stance, so it's difficult to tell where he's hitting it. And an orthodox swing.
First serve.
That is where Mooster has a tendency to be a little bit wild. That backhand passing shot tries to overhit it, as he did there. A lot more control, I believe, off that forehand side. Much bigger weapon for him. Andre Agassi different though. I feel his two-handed backhand is as good or better than his forehand. Andre obviously not happy with that call.
Mooster's won his service games a bit more easily than I might have expected here in the first set. And it's on serve in this quarterfinal match. Andre Agassi and Tomas Mooster, the winner to the semis, where Todd Martin awaits. Second ace by Agassi.
We'd love to have pace like that consistently, or at least enough. Keep players more off balance, like a player I've mentioned quite often, Todd Martin.
What is Agassi doing, John, now to start to control more of those points?
Yeah. Watch what he did here. Sees how far back Mooster is in the court, decides properly to move forward, cut these balls off in the air when he has a chance. He's got confidence even those swinging volleys, and he's pretty consistent on those shots. He's take advantage of those short balls. Agassi has such tremendous hand-eye coordination. He picks up the ball so early. It comes off his opponent's racket.
Great get again by Mooster, but just out. Well, our first set will come to a conclusion here. Mooster will serve. If he holds, it will go to a tiebreak.
The serve's certainly been a weapon for him so far. Winning some free points. Was up a break, though, we should point out. Wasn't able to capitalize on that. But as I said before, I think you're going to see a lot of breaks in this match. Mooster showing he can generate some pace off the ground. Plenty of pace. Big backhand there.
Amazing thing, John, Mooster skipped the Open here in both 91 and 92 because of the coming back from the knee injury. Did not want to play much on the hard courts.
I believe his doctors that he was using over in Austria advised him not to play on the hard courts for a couple of years.
And now he's come in and made the quarters 2 years in a row.
Tremendous effort by Mooster.
Three aces in the game, 7 in the set. And this goes to a tiebreak.
Who would have thought Thomas Mooster would do better at the U.S. Open than the French Open? Neither player with an outstanding record. Mooster's obviously a little bit better.
One tiebreak in their match at the French this year, and Agassi won it 9-7.
Mooster better watch his language there. Get himself in trouble. That ball was clearly long. He's clearly frustrated because he didn't win that point. But a good defensive shot by Agassi. That's what won him that point. Surprise Mooster. Was to be out of the point and floated that forehand nice and deep. Put some nice pressure on Mooster's second serve. Once again, Thomas Mooster winning a free point off that first serve.
7 points wins the tiebreak, and you must win by 2.
Notice how much tougher things get in the tiebreaker to execute. Tremendous effort there by Mooster once again. He was there in plenty of time.
You look at a guy, John, that had a devastating knee injury, and he does not appear to have lost any motion.
Doesn't appear to have lost a bit. Shows you what effort can do. Agassi needs to continue to take advantage of Mooster's backhand. I talked to Brad Gilbert, his coach, and he felt that was a key, and I'm sure he tried to tell Andre the same. Just like he did there.
Did it on that short second serve, jumped all over it. If you were coaching him, that's what you'd tell him to do.
He's got the best return of serve in tennis. There's not much on that second serve. He should be all over that, just like that. He's got tremendous control off that backhand side. Once again, Ted, not the points that I think Andre Agassi wants to be involved in, these long rallies. Had a couple opportunities once again to be aggressive, had some short balls. Make Mooster hit those tough passing shots. And they're tougher in a tiebreaker, you believe me. Big serve there by Agassi to set up that easy forehand. So just catching the line. Mooster scrambling once again. A very easy shot for a player with a Western grip.
First serve.
And why not take a little something off this first serve out wide and come in on it? Up 5-3.
He had it in his mind.
Maybe next year.
Something just held him back at the last moment.
Mooster skidding on the hard court surface. 3 set points here for Andre Agassi.
Terrific movement by both players.
Both players scrambling away. I knew Agassi was in trouble here. No time for this pass, but all or nothing. It's way too far behind the baseline to have any serious attempt. Still 2 more set points. You see Mooster made a nice adjustment there. Agassi was aggressive, came in on the backhand. Mooster threw up that nice defensive lob. Big shot and a big point.
Mooster saves 2 set points on his serves. Now Agassi will serve once for the set.
And that's it would have been Andre's if that backhand had gone over the net. Mooster was way to the left of that shot. With good aggressive play.
incredible effort by Mooster. Agassi prevails in the tiebreak. Aerial views of the U.S. Open and the surrounding New York area, all during these 2 weeks, being provided by the MetLife Blimp Snoopy 1. And the captains have enjoyed some just glorious weather every night of this Open. First point of the second set.
That's now 17 of 18 points for Agassi at net.
That is remarkable.
Get an idea he should be approaching the net?
Agassi unhappy. That is the 8th ace by Mooster.
He had the point set up again. Well, I think he had it set up about 6 shots earlier when he hit that looping forehand cross-court angle. Had Mooster off the court, and you could see right away that Mooster was going to slice it, and that's the time to attack. Once you see he's not going to put much on the ball, cut it off. Still should have won that point, however. Usually has a very, very solid overhead.
Why is Agassi winning that incredible percentage in net? Is Mooster just not having a good night passing?
I think his approach shots have been excellent tonight. That makes it a lot easier to put away the volley. And the heavy topspin that Mooster has, you see here, 17 and 19. Don't see where he lost, man. Maybe that overhead. And Andre Agassi got off the chair ready to go this first game of the second set, right away with a breakpoint opportunity. He could really seize control here. Got off to an early break.
There's the break. Boy, a sloppy game by Mooster, and Agassi's up in the second. Agassi serving. Up a break here to start the second set. We saw the same thing happen, John, to Kafelnikov last night. He lost a tough breaker at the end of the first set, and he had a little letdown. In the second, never recovered from it.
And you won't see that with Tomas Mooster. You may see the same score, but it won't look the same. It's awful tough when he wins that first set. Only Ivan Lendl is able to come back.
Almost every player, John, when they're asked about playing Agassi, they tell you you have to get in front of him.
He's a tremendous front runner. That's certainly his history. Not as good when he's coming from behind. Loves that shot. See how short that ball was. That's what he needs to do. Take advantage of those short balls. He hits that backhand and forehand so well. There's no reason to let it go. No reason not to let it go, I should say. maybe the end of a long point once again, but he certainly didn't move his feet towards this last shot. Obviously hit the net, didn't react to it.
And Agassi cranks his third ace at a 40-30.
Some good pace on the serve tonight. Both players should be happy with the way they've served so far.
Crowd got fooled there. It looked good.
Take a look at this shot. See from that viewpoint, clearly wide. Good angle there. One of the few times you can actually tell. Set the point up beautifully at a wide open court. Unable to finish the job. It was a big point for him.
And this is a huge one for Mooster.
Yeah, you see how easy it is? I just played it a little safer.
Take the net. You can't take the pressure.
Mooster's showing some amazing court coverage there. Look how far off the court he's out of our camera there. Didn't do enough with that half volley. Mooster going right at Agassi. Mooster unable to handle that pace. He really played that safe, though. He hit hard, but he didn't try to get it too close to the lines. And that was enough there. I love freebies like that. Ooh.
And now you're starting to see Mooster can be very emotional on the court.
Well, he's a character out there, no question about that. Certainly wears his emotions on his sleeve. Most viewers that know me would know that I don't mind that type of effort on the court or emotion. Bad miss there by Agassi. It makes up for it quickly on the next point. It's the winner back in up the line. It's almost as if he cups this back in. Seems like he holds it longer than other players can. I don't know how he does it. Beautiful shot. Unlike Kafelnikov, Mooster's been in this position before, so he's not going to go down quietly. Big backhand, big aggressive backhand, taking it on the rise. You don't see a lot of that from Muster. Felnikov seemed totally overwhelmed by the occasion.
Terrific battle in this second game, second set.
Another bad miss.
It's almost all been on the forehand. And you're mentioning that Agassi should be attacking his backhand.
Certainly, I thought his biggest weapon. Most people on the tour would think the same thing, that forehand. Does this mean you start going at the forehand?
On one particular night? Another one. So 3 very critical errors off the forehand in that game. Survives.
He certainly should keep going until he straightens himself out. That's for sure. At the very least. Continue to put the pressure on.
The big bowl in Flushing Meadows, New York, filled tonight. Andre Agassi up a set and a break.
This is surprising right now. He's lost his confidence for the moment on the forehand side. Agassi should jump all over it. We saw in that second serve stat, only 38%, maybe 37 now. That's not going to get it done against Andre Agassi. Just shows it's even more important for Muster to get a high percentage of first serves in. Hovering around 50% at the moment. Usually like to let those high lobs bounce. Muster certainly struggled with that, but won the point nonetheless as we look at Thomas's coach, Ronnie Leitgeb. Muster desperate not to get down 2 breaks here in the second set.
Like to be able to find some of those aces that were a key to his service games in the first set. Good first set here at Stadium Court. Agassi winning in a tiebreak. And he is up a break at 2-love in the second.
Should point out conditions a lot nicer than they were this afternoon for that Martin Karbacher affair. Very windy. Settled down nicely tonight. There's an example of an extremely low percentage shot. Muster's not comfortable hovering around the baseline. He's trying to be more aggressive. Give him credit for trying something different, but going for too much there. As good as his forehand is, that's a very difficult shot. Based on what we've seen recently, maybe Agassi should keep going to the Muster forehand. Well timed there. Well behind the baseline, hitting a winner anyway.
Beautiful look. New York City, Midtown Manhattan, and the Empire State Building has been lit red, white, and blue during much of these 2 weeks of the U.S. Open. Join USA for the USA movie this Friday night as Sean Connery, Mark Harmon, and Meg Ryan star in The Presidio, Friday night at 9, 8 Central on USA. Agassi serving. He is up a break here in the second set.
Love 15.
John, I think one thing we'll be watching is to see if Agassi can play consistently here and not suffer any of the lapses that he's had in each match during this championship.
Played extremely well the first set and a half against Michael Che. Really should have won that match, I believe, in straight sets.
Fourth ace.
So he got up as well in the fifth set. Finally, actually won that one relatively easily, 6-1. Who would have thought he would have dominated Chang in the fifth set? So clearly Andre would be a better player if he could keep his concentration throughout the match. So would every other player for that matter. We see difference here, winning more of those second serve points. A lot more than Thomas Muster is. You see Andre's second serve, Muster's still well behind the baseline. So far, not showing any wear and tear from that Chang match. Looks fit and fresh physically, showing some excellent touch there.
Game as it turns out for Agassi. Well, it appears the ground strokes are not as deep right now as they were at the beginning of the match. Andre's standing on the baseline instead of 3 feet behind.
And that's because Andre's ground strokes have improved. Their pace is quickened up. He's seeing the ball now. He sees what Muster's giving him. I was surprised he was that far behind the baseline to start. He's gradually and literally inched his way up. You will see that in the Muster matches. Such heavy topspin off both sides. You'll see a lot of short balls, a lot of miss hits. That's why you have to take advantage of those opportunities. Because when he gets in a groove like he did that point, he's awful tough. Who thought Tomas Muster had this type of touch? Going behind Andre here. Big surprise.
He just scrambles so well. Does he cover as much as Chang on the court?
Yeah, that's tough to say. They're both awfully quick and cover an awful lot of ground.
Well, Muster with his 9th ace.
Agassi leads 3 games to 2.
First point. Talk about temptations. The MTV Awards will be in Radio City tomorrow night, John.
You know everyone will be glued to USA Network.
A lot of your guitar playing friends. But we'll have Michael Stiek in action here tomorrow night. It'll be the last quarterfinal match.
Andre certainly should have won that first point. And now throws in a double fault. Down love 30. I wish I spoke German right now. Muster continuing to struggle with that forehand. Doesn't seem to be happy with the tension.
Followed in a big first serve.
The first serve has really helped him in this match. You always see those big approach shots. That one bouncing right on the line. You don't see that big serve too often with Andre Agassi. Very well handled there. See him take his time, look around to see where Muster was, get himself in nice position, and not try to hit it too hard. Just guide it to the corner, and that was enough.
From about the midway point of the first set, John, it appears Agassi's really picked his game up. He's played very fine tennis.
And Muster's not playing badly. A lot of those unforced errors, feeling the pressure of the Agassi ground strokes. I'll tell you one other thing. I bet Andre Agassi's happy he's playing Tomas Muster instead of Sergi Bruguera. He struggled with Sergi, obviously, particularly on the clay courts. Had a tough match in Toronto where he came back and won that in 3 sets. But he doesn't match up as well against Bruguera as he does Tomas Muster. Bruguera with a very underrated return of serve for starters. Even Thomas Muster unable to run that down. Starting to feel a little bit discouraged here is Thomas Muster. That's just too good, though.
Agassi in terrific shape here. Double break point. Already up a break in the set. You were Muster, John, and what one thing would you change right now to try and match up better with Agassi?
Well, I'd probably have to take something off that first serve once again. Make sure you get a higher percentage in, because Agassi's starting to get more dangerous on the return. I would have to continue to grind away. That's his style. Not make a lot of unforced errors. Force Agassi into overhitting. He's not going to overpower him.
Serve for the second set.
Excuse me. Can I interest you in a change of pace?
Rebel! Express yourself. Change the lens on your rebel. Change. Play on a whole new level. Change. Express a different point of view. Change. Show them how it feels. Rebel!
Express yourself.
Express yourself.
EOS lenses and the Rebel X from Canon.
Andre Agassi serving to go up 2 sets over Thomas Muster.
Muster clearly doesn't know what to do at this point. Good idea to try to come to net, but you got to hit the shot first. Never even slowed down on the way to net there. That was a super confident shot, but also super careless. Fortunately for Andre, still up 2 breaks. You never know, that shot may cost him. Thomas Muster plays another one of his hard-fought points. Oh, beautiful shot there.
Well, he finally got one of those to drop.
Had to be 10 feet behind the baseline there when he hit that shot. And that certainly had a lot of pace on it. Really frustrated at the way this game's gone so far. Second break of the match. Let's see what a difference 15-all or 30-love is. You can't give Thomas Muster that much time on a passing shot.
No, Muster's still alive in this set. second double fault.
Further bad news for Mooster. His first serve percentage is dropping, and he's not winning a whole lot of points off the second serve. That's not a good sign at all. Mooster's certainly a lot tougher player when he's got his opponent going like a yo-yo. Surprised Andre there. He put a lot on that serve, but Andre really nowhere near that. Probably feeling a little bit of tension right now in the legs.
You don't like to let any player up, especially a guy that fights like Mooster.
He'd love to break here. I'll tell you, he doesn't want to have to serve this one out. And that could sort of negate the fact that he lost his serve the previous game. Start off serving in the third set. That's monstrous for him now. No chance for Agassi. And he was basically covering that side of the court, looking for that inside out forehand.
Well, if Mooster wins this point, then the next game is going to be very interesting to watch.
Excellent depth there on the Agassi backhand. No question that was in. It's a tough shot to handle. Also, when a ball's that close to the line, you have a tendency to look at the line just a touch instead of the ball. And Mooster's calling it good. I'm not sure if he's going to replay the point, though. This is amazing. Mooster must have been watching the Martin Renberg match, trying to win the contest as the nicest guy on the tour. Very unusual move there.
And there's no other sport that I can think of where this would happen, where the players can overrule the umpires, judges.
Maybe the players should call the lines. That's what I propose.
What haven't you proposed?
Instead of being up an ad to make Andre Agassi serve this out, finds himself down another set point.
It is incredible. If you can think of something, correct me. I can't think of another instance in sports where that happens. That's out. And Agassi wins the set with a break of serve in a most unusual game. Our singles coverage on USA will conclude with a full day of tennis tomorrow. It once again begins at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. And then tomorrow night, in our feature match, Michael Stich, the highest remaining seed in the men's draw, playing an unseeded Swede, Jonas Bjorkman. Man who knocked Edberg out. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific tomorrow on USA. Now you try that 10 times fast. Unseeded Swede.
It's easier than Yevgeny Kafelnikov. Maybe Tomas Muster is inspired from his generosity here. Got up to a good start, winning the first 2 points of this third set. See at love 30, Muster tried to just chip it back, wasn't able to succeed there. At that point, decides to go for it, totally mishits that return, so clearly confused about what he should be doing here. Well cut off by Agassi. Just opened up the court so beautifully with that forehand.
I wonder if he's ever had a match where he's won a higher percentage of points at net.
I doubt it. Even at Wimbledon, he doesn't come to net that often.
No, Agassi holds his serve to start the third set.
As you might expect, God has an awesome tennis game. Perfect form with unlimited power. That is why he needs only this racket. You, on the other hand, would do much better with the extended sweet spot of the Prince Extender Thunder.
Ooh, nice try.
Lucky shot. The Prince Extender Thunder, the most powerful racket on earth.
New York City and the National Tennis Center in Flushing Meadows, New York. U.S. Open on night 10. And it's so far been Andre Agassi's night. Saturday night at USA belongs to Duckman, USA's Emmy-nominated Private Eye Duck. Saturday nights at 10:30, 9:30 Central, right here on USA. Agassi up 2 sets for Tomas Muster. Muster serving at 15 all.
You see Muster here trying to entice Agassi into those long rallies, but to no avail here. Once again, well cut off. He's certainly improved upon that in the last set and a half. Muster looking up here in a plane for the first time in this U.S. Open. You better watch out here. Agassi in danger of running away with this match.
Playing like he's intent on it.
Sure looks focused. Most focused I've ever seen Andre Agassi.
Has gone up a break in the third.
He knew all he had to do was get to this and have a shot. Caught it a little bit on the top of his frame there. Got a little lucky there. He'll certainly take it. Mooster not a comfortable net player, unable to handle that pass. It's like a practice session there.
Quite incredible running by Mooster.
I know Mooster likes to run side to side, but this was getting ridiculous. It's just low percentage, having to hit big shots from that far behind the baseline.
I can only imagine that must be a wonderfully powerful feeling to know you can make your opponent run like that.
Absolutely.
You just stand right in the middle of the court.
Ask Jimmy Connors. He's the other guy that ran around opponents a lot more than he ran. This is the other guy that does it. Neither possessed a big serve, by the way. Both players needed to rely on moving their opponents around and fatiguing them in that manner. And Andre Agassi giving an excellent exhibition of that tonight. Mooster covering a lot more ground out there, not cutting off the angles nearly as well as Andre.
His fifth ace.
Both players with the exact same percentage coming to net. However, Andre Agassi's come to net a lot more. And that certainly paid dividends for him today. There's Mooster returning the favor on his forehand. Difference was Andre Agassi hit that at 15-40. Thomas Mooster hitting it 40-15 down the next game. Andre still has another point here to go up 3-love.
By Agassi. And he's up 3-love in the third. First point of the fourth game, third set. And Agassi continuing to run Mooster all around the stadium court. This for about an hour now, John, has been as good a tennis as we've seen Agassi play in a long time.
He's finally taking advantage of those big approach shots, those big ground strokes, cutting the ball off and winning a lot of easy points. We saw a perfect illustration of that. Thomas Mooster not happy with the call on that previous point. And I think he was right. I think that ball was long. On Andre Agassi's last service game, when he hit that wicked angle forehand, earlier in the match we saw him stay back, up 2 sets of break, full of confidence, cut that ball off beautifully, finds himself up 3-love, 30-love.
Mooster had a great line earlier this week. He beats Engqvist in the third round, and they start the interview off. The first question is, are you and the chair umpire on best of terms? He says, I don't have a problem with him. He just doesn't see very well. You gotta love that candor.
I've heard that quote before.
15-40. Did that make your top 10?
So Mooster throwing up his 10th ace. desperate stage now for Thomas Muster. He's totally lost his way now.
Well, it's gotten awfully early, much earlier than we thought it would for Muster. I don't know that very many would have thought that Agassi, if he does indeed go on here, would close it out quite this easily.
Really just shows you how much talent Andre Agassi really has. When he gets going, is he tough? Muster's dropped mentally about 100 spots in the rankings in the last half hour.
Yes, he has. He's what they call free-falling.
Don't ask me to sing that song. You looked at me like you wanted me to croon that one out. Great Tom Petty song. Andre Agassi now only 6 points from victory. Certainly recovered nicely from that Michael Chang 5-setter. Certainly based on form here, Ted, you have to give Andre Agassi the edge over Todd Martin. Todd Martin should be very, very happy he's in the semifinals. And that's why he's dangerous, though. He hasn't really played his best tennis, though. You never know. Todd could pick it up.
Well, Muster finally got rewarded for the great efforts, even in this bad situation for him. He continues to get things.
You know that old saying, too little, too late. It applies here. Even that shot he hit, he was 40 love down. Still down 40-15.
And Agassi has now won the game from the semis.
Agassi leads 1.3.
Andre Agassi, one game, making it to the semifinals. And Muster not appearing that he's going to be able to have much of a fight here to stop it.
You are a great announcer, Ted. That's a real understatement.
Is that a command of, that's a grasp, isn't it?
That's really stretching. I'll take that back. Right? A rare forehand winner for Thomas Muster. Forehand certainly let him down today. Beginning of the match, Ted, when Muster was out hitting Andre from the backcourt, boy, has that changed.
That pace really changed about midway through the first set. For the second night in a row, John, we're seeing a matchup where it had gone completely one way on clay. He totally reversed on hardcourt.
And to be honest, not a big surprise. Everything going Andre Agassi's way now.
Now the crowd sensing it. There's no question the tennis world. The depletion of the field of A lot of the named players want Agassi playing this weekend. It's been 4 years since he's played the second Saturday here at the Open. And Wooster stays alive. At least one more point. For the first time since 1990, has made it as far as the semis at the U.S. Open. And he does it in as convincing a fashion as anyone could have hoped for.
Both players have a lot of respect for each other. We see once again another forehand winner from the Agassi racket, embracing at the end of the match. And the Agassi camp gets to watch an easy win.
88, 89, and 90. 3 straight years Agassi played on the final weekend here. Lendl was his conqueror twice, and then Sampras in the finals in 90, and now in 94 Agassi is back, this time to face Todd Martin in a semifinal on Saturday. We'll be hearing from the participants here first. Thomas Muster with Linda Pence.
Thomas, the match started off so well, great tiebreak first set. What happened towards the end?
Well, I was playing deeper at the beginning of the match, and I didn't give him too much timing, so I was serving better. And he was risking in the tiebreak some shots more than I did, so I think probably if I would have played or won the tiebreak, maybe would have changed the whole match, but he was playing just great tennis. From that time on, he didn't miss shots anymore, and he was controlling the game. That was basically it. I mean,
was this the best he's ever played against you in all the meetings you've had?
Well, we cannot compare this because we played on clay most of the time, and the last hardcourt meeting was like 7 years ago or something. So I think he's just more experienced on hardcourt, and he has one advantage, double-handed backhand, so he can control the court better, and especially from the backhand corner, and he can control with the forehand. So that was my problem on clay. I can easily get those balls, but hardcourt is tougher to run for me, and especially at the end. I had pretty much problems with my knee, really pushing off of the left foot. So, but that's no excuse. I mean, he definitely is hitting the ball very clean, and it's probably the best I've seen him play since 1.5 years probably. So that means that he's really hitting the ball very well now, and I think he has a good chance the way he's playing to take the title, but today was just a good.
All right, thanks very much, Thomas, for joining us. Back upstairs to Ted.
All right, Linda, that's Thomas Muster, but the winner, Andre Agassi, into the semifinals, and we'll look forward to hearing from him when we return to the U.S. Open.